Sorry I'm late. I wanted to use the restroom before I started. Tonight we're going to talk about safety. I'm going to wait a minute for everybody to hop on. I know I'm a little late. How's everybody doing? Hi, Eric. I'm good. How are you? We've got Brucey over here. Everybody's getting ready to go to bed. We're going to go to bed after this, and then tomorrow I've got some editing and stuff to do. I'm going to stay put where I am for a couple days. And I've got plans this weekend. I'm already tired. Well, I'm glad you're here, Eric. Hi, Roy. Hi, Mark. Hey, Andrew. Lucy's right here. Let's see. Hey, hi, Brucey. Anyways. I've been good. Oh, yeah, so maybe I made a generic message. I copied everything. No, I shouldn't have taken anybody down from YouTube. Who knows after tonight? But we'll see. Nobody should be taken off of YouTube. Hi, Case. I'm somewhere. Getting closer to my destination for this trip. It's gonna be nice. Still cold where I'm at. But we managed to stay really cozy last night. It was nice. Hey, John. I want to go over safety. So, unfortunately, I'm going to wait. Actually, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes if that's okay. And then we'll start diving into things. And I'll touch base again. And I do want to write a blog about this. And so everybody has it. Just, and I want to see what maybe some of your tips or your concerns are for people traveling alone in general. This isn't mainly geared towards females, but I feel like that's one of the main search topics, and so hopefully everybody will have some good input and some good questions. So, unfortunately, I can't share my location anymore, but that's okay. Okay, we've got 40 people on here. I think I'm gonna dive on in. Okay, so several weeks ago, I caught a man following me when I was in Las Vegas, and I had already felt violated, I guess, weeks before that, and even March to April timeframe, my phone was hacked, and it was getting really hot, and I felt like somebody had already been in on some of my information through my phone. So I ended up getting a new phone and then trying to take the proper steps to protect myself that way. But I still shared my location and stuff because I didn't know where it was coming from. And then eventually I just felt on edge everywhere I was going, especially around the Las Vegas area. So a few weeks ago, my feelings were confirmed when I had been in the Las Vegas area. I went to a couple of casinos and did some gambling, and I went around town, visited some friends, and then I went to I visited friends in like public locations and stuff like that. And then I went to a Walgreens, And I parked at the Walgreens on one side of the building, and then I decided to change locations on the building because when I looked over, I recognized this man that I had seen all day long. And I am someone that usually, when I'm in a place, I'm looking around at my surroundings, and I'm a people watcher anyway. So I can recognize people for the most part, you know. And I look over and I see this guy that I've seen all day long at all these random locations. Like, yeah, sometimes you see people at the same casinos, you know, but then, like the Walgreens, that was kind of weird. And then, so I switched parking spots to another side of the building. Well, I look over and he was parked next to me again. So he moved locations on the Walgreens. So when I got out of my car, I approached his vehicle and I asked him if he was following me. And he said, do I know you? And I said, well, apparently, because you're following me. And when I looked in his truck, he had a pad of paper and like a voice recorder. And he drove away. If he really was going to the Walgreens to get something, he would have just gone in and got what he needed and came out. He wouldn't have just driven away. So that just confirmed my suspicions, and I had just like weird situations going on. I camped out at the El Dorado dry lake bed, and I felt like somebody was out there watching me then. It was just so extremely uncomfortable. And so then I decided I needed to go to California and get, I went and got my bushings done and all that. And then I decided to stop at home and visit a friend, but then I decided to stay a few more weeks, and I actually really did. I felt so comfortable at home because on my home turf, you know, people do look out for everybody, and I just feel safe there in general. I can generally feel safe there. I can go anywhere, you know, and I can call someone and they'll show up immediately. But Vegas is a different story. It's scary there. There's, you know, human trafficking and other things that can go on there. So, and I don't know what anybody's intentions are for anything. And I have a feeling I know who it is, but I could be wrong. There's, you know, I go through my mind of all the people I've met in my life, and especially in Vegas, some of the connections I have, like some are kind of sketchy, you know, and I don't know. I see behavior patterns of someone that I know that, I don't know, has it been accused of following people before, and or sent people to follow people before. So it could be that. I don't know. And then earlier today I received a comment on my YouTube channel telling me not to come back to Vegas because, and they threatened me if I came back to Vegas. So, and I'll go wherever I please. I will go back to Vegas. I have business there that I need to take care of. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to be scared out of where I do business. That's one thing. But I will be contacting the Metropolitan Police Department tomorrow and filing a police report against the person. And I mean, it's the internet, so who knows who it would be. I did screenshot the comment, and this is something that I'm taking very seriously. So with that being said, if you feel like you're being followed, trust your instincts and kind of look into it a little bit further. Try to retrace your steps and your background and the people that you know. And if you really do feel unsafe, file a police report. Obviously, a piece of paper is not going to stop somebody from harming you, but at least it's on record. And another thing is just always be aware of your surroundings. So I think that's like the first rule in safety for me when it comes to traveling. I am constantly aware of my surroundings, and I'm trying to cut back on the drinking, especially when I'm alone. Unless I'm with somebody I know, I'm trying to, you know, like I'll have a drink or two, and then, you know, so I can take care of myself. No more taking it a little bit too far to where I can't be aware of my surroundings and take care of myself. So, and health wise, I guess it's probably good to cut back a little bit, but I've really taken it seriously to stay sober, especially when I'm alone, because, you know, I feel like I get a little bit weaker when I drink more, and but I'm able to be more aware of my surroundings when I'm sober, obviously. So I'm gonna do my best to keep on that track, and yeah. So mean, even at a stoplight, even when I walk in the store, I'm constantly looking around, and that comes from a military background. It comes from me working security on the Las Vegas Strip. I work security at the Luxor, and being aware of your surroundings is very important. And just always constantly being alone has made me aware of my surroundings. And the fact that I'm low key, like a nosy person, I kind of do want to know what people are up to around me. And, I do go to places where people seem a little bit sketchy. So I think, yeah. And Mark, I know people want to say to try to keep near public places, but I don't agree with that. I want to be alone in the woods and be all by myself. And to me, I actually do feel safer out there. I didn't feel like I was stalked when I was alone in the woods. And actually, there was a point in time where I didn't feel comfortable when recently, and I used my 4-wheel drive to get as far away from whatever I thought made me uncomfortable. And just being alone on top of the mountain made me feel more safe than it did for me to be in a public parking lot in Las Vegas where it was daylight. So I don't agree with sticking to public places, but maybe that is different for other people. Whatever makes you feel safe. So make sure that you feel comfortable. Another thing is carry protection. There's different levels of protection. There's different levels of human threat, and I highly recommend that people look into that and use whatever you are comfortable with. When I was in the military, we got sprayed in the face with OC spray. We did the same thing at the Luxor, and so I do know what it feels like to get that on your face. So keep in mind, in pepper spray is less painful, but keep in mind when you do spray someone with that, it's going to come back at you. So when you're using different forms of protection, make sure you kind of know what it's going to feel like on you, because you're going to need to get away also. It's not going to help if you're down too. So it's really important to know what you're using, and at least on some sort of level how it feels. So I do have various forms of protection, and I'm not going to tell you guys what I have in those forms. I don't think that it's safe for me to say what I have and how I carry it and all that stuff, but I've got all different sorts of protections that different tools that I would use for protection in different levels of threat. And it's really important for people to understand what the different levels of threat are. And you can research that, and I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos out there. Also, I would highly recommend, if you're not into going for a CCW course for, I don't want to say what the word is because this will get demonetized, but if you're not comfortable with carrying certain things to protect yourself, especially, the highest level, go take a hunter safety course. And even if you're not into hunting, I think that a hunter safety course is a great starting point for learning about weapons, especially firearms. I said it. So, but they teach you a lot in there. They teach you do the physical class, not the online course, but do the physical class. They'll teach you how to use them and everything. And for instance, in Las Vegas, there's the Firearms Coalition, and they do an Annie Oakley class on Tuesdays. If you look on Facebook, there's a Facebook group for it. And on Tuesdays, women can go up to the range and they can learn how to use firearms, and men are not allowed whatsoever. Doesn't matter if it's your husband, your son, your boyfriend, your dad, instructor, whatever. It's women's only, and I think that is so important. It creates a comfortable environment, and the women that train these things, they are pretty awesome women. And so maybe you have something in your area that you can look up. I think that's a really great starting point. But I think safety, always be aware of your surroundings. And if you're using something to protect yourself, try it out before you need to actually use it. Because if you don't know how to use it, I guarantee you the person that is trying to do you harm, they already know what that's all about. So you need to know exactly what you're using and what it does. So Obviously, I'm not going to go tell you to go use something on yourself, but at least have an idea of what you're doing. Also, I have been sharing my location for years, up until a few weeks ago when I caught that man following me. And so I turn my location off on my phone when I'm places. When I need to use the map to go somewhere, I don't really use my GPS the full way anymore. Sometimes I do. But for the most part, I just look at my GPS, figure out which major highways I need to go, use that, and then when I'm getting into the town or where I'm going, then I'll kind of pull it up a little bit, get my turn by turn. I also use paper maps, and then you can also download your maps from Google Maps, or I don't know about Apple Maps, but you can download the maps of the places that you're going. So if you don't have service, you can still use them. I use like Onyx Off-Road for off-roading, and I download those maps, and you can turn off your location and you can use those maps when you don't have internet service. But really, learn how to use a paper map. Paper maps are amazing. So, yeah, the location thing kind of sucks because I'm an instant gratification kind of person, and I do love sharing where I am with you guys. And I haven't really been documenting very many things of this trip. I've just been kind of concentrating on my mental health, and I'm doing a lot better. I feel safe. I feel really safe. Where I'm going is really safe. I'm going to hang out with some friends in Florida, and nobody's going to mess with me down there. It's going to be great. Oh, Las Vegas is all about Christmas. It is. Right now it's I think it's the rodeo right now, actually. So, Cowboy Christmas is the thing, and PBR. Yeah, PBR. Beginning of December. NFR. I don't know which one it is. So yeah, you said most YouTubers delay their releases a day or more, and I think it's actually more than that. So for me, I'm gonna go a couple weeks, maybe even a month, and just so I can feel comfortable. Bruce is always on alert, and all that. So, but safety is really important, and always trust one person and tell them where you're going and when you'll be back and when you plan on being in a certain location. Always check in. And those little log books when you're hiking or doing anything, when you're on the off-road trail, if there's somewhere to check in, do that too, because God forbid anything happen, they actually use those to see when you were at a certain location, and that really does help too. Yeah, somebody has told me to check the Trailblazer for GPS stuff. I haven't done that yet, unfortunately, but I need to. I just don't know what to look for or where to look for it. But I will have somebody check that for me. I'm actually going to go meet up with some friends here very soon. And after that, I shouldn't be alone for a while, a couple months. And I'm going to make sure the Trailblazer is good to go when I leave Florida. And I have big things planned. I wish I could share my trip with you guys, but I just can't. So, Bruce is doing well. He's very demanding and very needy. He thinks he started this thing where he just gets his treat himself after he goes to the bathroom. I don't even have to give it to him. But he was doing it too much to where I had to put the treats away, and now he's just demanding them all the time. So it's so weird. I don't know where they would put them, but it makes sense. But you know what? It's something I'm taking very seriously, and I will be contacting law enforcement. And I do have some friends and some very, very awesome places that will look out for me. So, and it just sucks because I didn't want to sound paranoid or all that, so I kind of kept it all to myself. But the guy following me around Vegas, they kind of just did it in for me. And this weird situation I had when I was at the El Dorado dry lake bed, that was weird too. Under the rear of the car. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I just don't know. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, if I do figure it out, I will be taking legal action. I'm not broke down. Why do you keep saying that? I couldn't even find a car lift to work on my car when I needed it. I don't know if I can find one now to look, but I'll crawl under there and see. Sorry to hear that, Anthony. Everybody had it. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, I kind of have a feeling I know who it is, but I don't want to just accuse anybody, and I'm not gonna badmouth anybody on the internet because I could be wrong. So I'm just gonna do everything the smart way and keep what I know to myself until I know that it's accurate. But yeah, I'm done being uncomfortable. Do I keep a space heater? No. So, most people put the insulation for the water heaters, Reflectix, on their windows. I haven't done that yet because I'm balling on a budget. But I when I park and I get everything ready, I let the heater run for a little bit. But then I just been covering it with like towels and the windows with towels and stuff. Right now, it's in the teens, and I'm I'm on TikTok, so it stays pretty insulated. It's actually pretty nice. So I'll actually be making a video soon about staying warm in this cold weather. So it'll be nice. 60 people watching. I have solar power. I have 200 watts of solar. You guys are actually sitting on it right now. So, yeah, we're not going to talk anything about anything else besides safety tonight, okay? So, I would like to keep it focused on that. I would say it's safe for anybody single living on the road. And that's why I just use these tips from my own experience. I've been on the road by myself for a year. I started not caring about much, still being aware of my surroundings, sharing my locations with everybody, wanting to meet up or whatever. I never liked when people just showed up, but I never felt unsafe until recently. And not unsafe, but uncomfortable. So unless you've actually lived on the road, you don't really have like an input on how safe it actually is. If you have lived on the road, then I'd say you kind of have an input on how safe it is. So I've been doing this for a year by myself. I'm still alive, happy, and well. And yeah, I've come across this recent instance where I was being followed, but I made some changes and I don't plan on ending this lifestyle anytime soon. So it is safe to live on the road as a single person, man or woman. It's just you've got to be aware of your surroundings and always let somebody know where you're going and be able to protect yourself if you really need to. But um yeah, so that is just my input. I would say don't let other people decide for you what you want to do in life. So you got to make certain changes to live a certain life that you want to live. If you want to do certain activities and you want to do them safely, obviously you want to look at what your options are to make sure that you can live that lifestyle safely. So what I've done is stopped sharing my location, stopped using my location on my phone. I installed a VPN on my phone also and some other security measures, and I think that helps a lot. Um, Let's see. I always let somebody know where I'm going. I carry a Garmin InReach Mini, a little GPS, which I haven't used in a while because I have service almost everywhere. But I can hit that SOS button if I don't have service. Highly recommend that if you're going to do a lot of back road stuff. Um, have someone that you can always count on to answer their phone if you are in danger. And if you can, have someone in all four corners of the United States and maybe even in the middle that you can call or get a hold of if you can't, if if you're in the area. So, yeah. Hi, Jim. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. So, yeah, but I mean, living on the road can be unsafe or it can be safe. You know, you could be like me in the beginning and careless, but that's because I hadn't come across a situation where I felt uncomfortable. But I think I mentioned it last night. If you do something if you travel on the weekends only, you might not ever come across a situation where you felt unsafe. But the more you do it, the probability of that happening is obviously going to happen. Choice, I am not homeless. I'm a full-time traveler. I have a bed. I'm sitting on it right now. I just don't pay rent. But I'm gonna keep this topic on safety. I won't be answering any questions unless it has to do with safety. So, yeah. So if you have, if you have a woman in your life, whether it be a daughter, a wife, an ex-wife, a girlfriend, wife and a girlfriend, whatever you got, a mother, grandmother, and they want to go live on the road or they want to travel more, don't discourage them to do that. That's something calling them to. Maybe they want to experience that side of life, and the freedom aspect of this is amazing. I wouldn't give up this life for anything. The people I've met along the way, most of them are amazing people. Sean, I'm not going to answer that because I don't really want people to know what I carry, because I feel like showing that off. I see a lot of Instagram reels about girls showing off their conceal and how they carry and all that stuff. No, I'm not telling you where I put that or whatever I've got, because I don't want you to know. I don't think it's I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, like, for a safety aspect of it, I um let's just say I am an NRA member, okay? And I'm actually about to cancel that because they keep spamming me, and it's just I get so many emails and phone calls, and all they want is money anymore. So I've moved on to other organizations. But if you do have a woman in your life who conceals things, tell them to stop telling people where they have it. Especially if they're putting their life on the internet. Somebody might recognize them one day when they're out on the store. Somebody with bad intentions, and they know exactly where they're going when they're going to grab for something. So I don't think it's very safe to show people what you have and where you've got it. So that's just my own 2 cents. Yeah, so the safest places I've ever been are rest stops and truck stops. Safer than a Walmart, safer than a Target, safer than a mall, safer than anything. And I will tell you, the men and women at these truck stops, most of the time, they want nothing to do with me. They want to get their gas, they want to get their shower, they want to get their snacks, and they want to get back into their sleeper so they can take a nap, or they need to go wait in line for everybody to fill up their gas so that they can go get gas. And they've got a delivery to make. So the people in these trucks, I would say for the most part, their intentions aren't bad. I'm not going to say that for everybody. Obviously, there's bad people in groups of people. But the safest places I've ever felt are truck stops, and the people there are actually, most of the time, are very kind. Hi, David. I would suggest you try it. But yeah. I don't know how many times I have to say this choice. I'm not going to answer any question unless it has to do with safety. So, no more. If you have a safety question, I will answer it. But people have clicked on this because they're curious about safety. That same comment goes towards everybody else asking something that has nothing to do with safety. I will do another live stream later on this week, and you guys can ask me any question you want. But for right now, it's going to be about safety. Does anybody... Okay, you don't get to comment anymore. That's it. I've got no patience for you. You're done. So you don't even get to ask your questions on a later live stream. Because you do that to yourself. I don't have patience for you. What is it that I look for in a rest stop as far as safety? Lighting, if it's dark. If there's a lot of lighting, people aren't really going to mess with you. And this goes for parking lots and truck stops and whatever. Park under a light. Most of the time, if you park under a light, people aren't going to be messing with you because people get away with more in the dark. You can't see what's going on behind this shadow or this other side. But if you park under the light, most of the time your rig is under light on all sides. So when I go to a rest stop, I usually park under a light and I park closer to the bathroom. So there's traffic going in and out. If something were to happen, obviously somebody would see. A lot of times those bathrooms do have cameras on them too. Traffic cameras, or there's a camera on the freeway right there. So that's a good one. And yeah, so I'll do that, and yeah. So, and I usually won't sleep at a rest stop if there isn't a lot of, if there aren't a lot of cars there, because you just don't know. In Oregon, for instance, you could be in the middle of nowhere and there's a rest stop where you haven't seen a town in hours, and there's homeless people living there. I don't know how the heck they got there, but they got there, and they case your vehicle too. And you know how Oregon is with holding people accountable. It's not very good. So Oregon was a no rest stop place for me. No, you know, truck stops I felt a little bit safer because for the most part, people don't mess with people at truck stops because those people carry protection. I've seen it. So, and most of those guys, and the managers at truck stops, if you're alone and you're a female, most of these truck stops do have some sort of security. If you ever ask them, like, hey, can you check on me every once in a while? They might be too busy, but they might have someone peek out and check on you every once in a while. I've actually asked them to do that for me before, and they have. So, you know, just go in there and buy something first. Spend some money. Okay, Mike, send it to me on Facebook or Instagram. So, I mean, Bruce can be my first line of defense. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much. Okay, so Bruce. Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce. I woke him up. So, I don't have PayPal anymore. They took it away from me. I have Cash App. It's Out and About with Diane on there. Unfortunately, they took PayPal away from me. Yeah, so, and I always try to get to where I'm gonna stop for the night while it's light out, so I can see what's going on. I can see the type of people I eat. One thing I learned from another YouTuber, Nikki Delventhal. I don't know if you know her. She lived She lived in a Prius first, but I started following a lot of YouTubers before I did this full time. And sure, you can mention it, Bobby, if you want. But she lived in a Prius, and she had a really good tip where she set up her car in another location to go to bed. Like, she would stop at another parking lot, and she would get her bed ready and everything. I don't think I'm half Jewish. No. Oh, thanks, Mark. But anyway, she would set up her bed somewhere else, and then she would park somewhere else. So where she was sleeping, people weren't watching her get ready for bed, and they didn't know that she was sleeping there. So she was already prepared when she pulled up, and she would just incognito put her visor up, and then she would crawl under the bed. So that is one thing that I need to do with the reflectix, and tape them or paint them black so I can just cover the windows so it doesn't look like there's anything in the windows. I do need to do that. People did suggest that before, and my thing was I liked watching people approach my vehicle, but with Bruce, he can hear anybody approach my vehicle, and he doesn't bark. He just does this really low growl, and I'm really hard of hearing, so it's really weird. He's discovered this growl that I could hear, but it's still such a low pitch that most people can't hear it, but it can like override my tinnitus, and it's really weird, but it's actually really great. So he lets me know if someone's approaching the vehicle, and that has worked more than one time where I feel like someone's approaching the vehicle and it's not great, and I can just climb in the driver's seat and drive away, which is another reason why I like traveling in one vehicle as opposed to a vehicle on a trailer or something like that, or a truck with a cab over camper, unless you can just crawl in. But I can just crawl in the front seat and drive away. My keys are always readily available, and I always set my alarm when I go to bed. So if somebody were to try to do something, the alarm would go off. But yeah, so those are all basically my tips. If you can share this with someone who can use them, I would really appreciate it. And if you can leave comments on different ideas that you have, I would appreciate that too. Okay, I don't know what the weather tech is, but I'll look into it. I do have an Amazon wish list with that stuff on there. I just need to change the address to where I'm going, because I won't be able to pick it up. Also, I'm going to be installing security cameras on my vehicle soon that I can hook up to this battery bank that Gressel sent me. I made a video on the Gressel thing, so I can hook uh, these cameras up to this battery, and I can have security cameras on my vehicle. And I'll probably set up a Wi-Fi device so I can have access to that at all times. I know I need to catch up on Nikki's videos for sure. I really appreciate everybody. Well, thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody's worked for the government, but you're always taught to back into spaces. That's so you can leave quickly. So people that back in, I used to think, why you're gonna back up no matter what, right? But you back into places so that you can leave quickly. So that is one tip that I've taken throughout my life. I always back into somewhere so I can bounce. Bobby, I will be in Florida soon. And when I'm in Florida, I will tell you guys when I'm in Florida, because I have vlogs planned. I won't tell you exactly where in Florida, but I'll be with friends, and I don't think I'll be alone at all in Florida, and I think it'll be a fun time. So it'll be great. But I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna edit a video and go to bed, and Just take care of myself and Bruce. Oh, I'll look into it. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Bobby. I hope you guys had a good time during this. And if you guys have any tips on I know I saw Unstoppable Morgan is going that way. I'm gonna try to get a hold of her. But yeah, so if you guys have any tips, can you please leave them? Hi Francis. Can you please leave them in the comments? And if you feel like this is a useful video for other people, can you please send this to them? And remember to hit the like button if you've been watching. I really appreciate you. Alright. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll have a video for you. Alright? Bye.